And that is the Swinomish Canoe Family Friendship Song. And we have Robin Youngblood on the line. And how you doing tonight, Robin?
Hey, I'm good. Thank you.
Hey, thanks for calling in with us and sharing this evening. And just want to first give you a chance to introduce yourself, and then we'll have a little visit. I'm very appreciative that you took time to share with our relatives.
Well, thank you. I'm really grateful that you asked, yeah? My name is Robin Youngblood. I'm Colville Nation descendant and Cherokee and a few other tribes. And a couple of weeks ago, I was on a wild ride with my house in Oso when the mud came down and the mountain collapsed. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's been weighing heavy on many of our hearts, and I know we have a mutual friend and brother that's been out there in the Oso Valley with Marvin and many others, and just wanted to talk a little bit about how all of us could help. I mean, we're getting, I know myself, I can speak for myself, we're getting a lot of the different things that people need, and some of the things that have been sent. What can we do to help? How would we be able to help? Because it's I haven't been out there, but I've seen pictures, and it's I know it's pretty heavy for a lot of people. And Kisa was talking about how his take on it, and from the elders, how it's a funeral. I hate to say that, but like that's the reality that people are facing, and so I wanted to be able to share with what's on your heart and how our relatives could help.
Prayer is the first thing, yeah. All of us need that kind of support. Yeah, it is a funeral. The first memorial was yesterday, and there are 30 people gone and 11 more still missing. There's a sacred ground over on that mountain, and nobody can get to it yet because it's too dangerous. I don't know about other houses. I've only been allowed to get back into where mine was, but there's nothing left. It looks like the end of the world out there. Yeah. On a personal note, all my sacred items are gone. All my artwork. They found my elk skin dress the other day. That was a little tiny miracle, yeah. The big miracle is I'm alive. Those of us who are survivors, geez, what can I say about that? The whole world has been responding with, I have a friend in Holland who wanted to send me all her household furniture. I'm like, honey, I don't have a place for it, and it's way too expensive for you to send you furniture over here. So the small communities, Darrington and Arlington, they've been responding in every kind of way. They've been working 24/7. The governmental organizations, most of the time, they've been super kind and compassionate and trying to help us. But they're big organizations. They have to, half the money has to go to the recovery effort. Some of it has to go to their overhead. Very little of it's getting to the survivors. As you know, Kisa has good thinking for all our relations. I have Church of the Earth. They're both 501c3s, which means they're nonprofit organizations. And what I've been doing is asking people who have a little spare money to donate to one of us, and we will make sure that it gets directly to survivors. That's difficult in itself, even finding the names of the survivors, because some of the people stayed with the Red Cross and the shelters. Some went to family and friends. We're scattered all over, and it's hard to get us all together, but we're working on that, too. What I can say is that prayer is going to be the biggest support, because we're all going to have to rebuild our lives from scratch. You know, that little boy that I carried out in the ambulance and took care of till his mom came, she's lost 3 other children and her husband. I don't even know how she's going to make it through this. Yeah, but she's strong. She's going to be all right. And we need all the good intentions and the love and caring and concern that all of you give. That's what family is about. Yeah?
Yeah. I want to talk a little bit about, as things are going, you know, people don't have anywhere to go, and, you know, to get to, Kisa was talking about medicines, and also I was reading that I would like to know a little bit about, you don't have your house anymore, and so the banks are still telling you have to pay for your mortgage, and you're not even able to get to work. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about that, and you get your thoughts on that.
I'm hearing whispers, but I don't know the truth of this yet, that either the state or FEMA is going to come in and pay some of those mortgages or forgive them somehow with the bank. My mortgage personally was a contract with a private person, and we're going to have to negotiate that. A couple of days afterwards, she sent me an email that said, well, in lieu of the situation, you can just not pay a payment for a couple of months and add it to the end of the contract. And I wrote back and said, honey, I'm not paying you anything. There's nothing left out there. We're never going to be able to rebuild. Yeah. That mountain's still unstable. Right. Yeah?
Yeah.
So I don't know how that's going to happen yet, but she's a good woman, and I'm a good woman, and we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I was reading that Governor Inslee, what you just said, was going to try to help relieve those payments. I don't know how that is yet, but I was trying to get your thoughts, and if you heard anything, if there's anything, again, that we could do. I guess maybe we could write letters in support.
That would be a really good thing. Another thing that all of the survivors that I've talked to agree on is we will do whatever it takes to prevent something like this happening again. And this was not an act of God. It wasn't Mother Earth. It was a whole sequence of events that were all human caused. Okay?
Okay.
They had a geological report in 1999, and I'm quoting it, that says there is a grave danger of a future catastrophic event. And they let people build houses after that. I only bought my land 2 years ago. Nobody told me that. I would not buy a piece of land where I'm taking my daughter and son-in-law and my 7-year-old grandson, knowing that there's a potential for something like that to happen. Yeah?
Right.
After they had that report, they allowed clear cutting. And they didn't even check the clear cutters. The loggers went beyond the point that they were supposed to go onto our sacred ground in a point that was already known to be sensitive to groundwater, what they call groundwater invasion, I think they call it, where if they took the trees away, it was going to make the land even more unstable because it would collect more groundwater than was good for the mountain.
Yeah, there's nothing sucking up the water.
Yeah. And, you know, any fool knows that, but anybody knows that tree roots stabilize Earth. Rocks stabilize Mother Earth. And they put a quarry up there.
Yeah, it's crazy what is allowed to do without being checked. We know those things that happen when you take those what I call natural buffers that protect us away. The Creator knew, what was going on when they put the trees where they put the trees, and all those things, and we go in and do that. And I'm with you. Like when you look for property, like anybody that's looking for property, if they know it's a swamp and it's future flooding, I don't think they would buy that. No.
I asked all those questions before I bought that land. We were creating sacred space. We were making a place where the Stillaguamish and the Sauk Seattle kids could come and learn about the cycles of life because the salmon spawned right there. We were making it a place where people who don't get to connect with nature could come and be with the deer and the eagles and the trees and the river, yeah?
Right.
And before we bought it, I called the Planning Commission 3 times. I called them to ask, are we above the high flood line, the 100-year flood mark? They said yes. I called them to ask what we could build. I called them to ask how to take care of the wetlands and the salmon creek. They never said a thing about landslide. Yeah?
Yeah.
If it was a drunk driver who killed another driver, they'd be going to jail for negligent homicide. I don't know how you put a government in jail. Okay? But as far as I'm concerned, this is criminal. And whatever we have to do to prevent things like this happening again and to get back in balance with Mother and all our relations, we got to do it. 3 or 4 days after this happened, Yellowstone had an earthquake, and then Los Angeles had an earthquake, and then Chile had an earthquake, and then yesterday a mountain in Ecuador blew up. Mother is telling us we cannot live this way anymore.
Yeah.
We have to wake up.
Yep, and we have to work together, so these things do not happen.
Yes,
and make people accountable and government accountable, because they're doing it all the time, allowing businesses to go in and taking the last of the old growth and.
Yes, and we have to be accountable to make our government accountable. There's a piece of this that I have to take my own responsibility for, all right?
Mm-hmm.
If we're awake, we cannot condone these things.
Yeah, we have to continue to put pressure on them to do the right thing.
Well, first, for me, the way it works, what my elders taught me, is if you want harmony on the outside, you got to have harmony on the inside. So first, we have to wake up. We have to live in balance. We have to stop throwing cigarette butts on the ground and all kinds of trash around the powwow ground. We got to keep it in balance first. And when we keep it in balance, then we pick the governance that keeps it in balance too. And we start creating that space where we don't allow this stuff to go on anymore. And then pretty soon, people get the idea that it's not going to be allowed, and they start living differently. But it has to come from inside out. It ain't going to come from outside in.
Yeah, so it was for myself, just thinking the steps to go through. What would that look like for us as people? I know that to live in harmony is to all the things you're talking about. Pick up trash when you see it, things like that, and trying to think how like we would go in and do those kind of things with the government in place right now. I know that that we here in Washington, the government is listening to a degree, but we have to keep showing up. I was just up there. I was just up at the Capitol on Wednesday to witness some bill signing of waiving the records of the fish wars.
Mm-hmm.
Like Billy Frank and others get their record clean, but to be up there and make yourself visible, and we want this. We want clean water. We have to be there.
We do, and the step before that is our people need to unify. This has been a sorrow for me for a long time. It's put my heart on the ground for a long time to watch us infighting, tribe to tribe, people to people. We can't do that anymore. If we came together, if we really united, because we know we all have the same teaching. We may have a little bit different ceremony. We may have a little tiny bit different color of skin, whatever. But we know what the truth is. If we know what that truth is, and we let our personalities and money conflicts and all the ways that we were divided by outside forces, if we continue to let that happen, then they've got us. We don't have any power. If we come together and we unite as the people who hold the teachings of Mother Earth, then we got a lot of power to change things.
Yeah, we're unstoppable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about things that you're talking about, and recently with all the de-enrollment and things like that, that's another form of dividing.
Yeah, I'm not registered. And last time I called the tribe when my kids were little and tried to get registered, I said, I'm 5/8 Indian, but I'm several different tribes. And she said, honey, I got people who are 8/8 Indians, and I can't get them enrolled because they don't have enough blood in one tribe. Well, my family knows who I am. I know who I am. It's okay. I don't need their registration.
I hear you. And because I always say only my mother can tell me who I am. So, but I hear that deeply. Like I too agree that if Native people, Indigenous people across the world, Turtle Island, the world, unite, and because yes, there's different ceremonies that go with different things, but on a whole, the philosophy of loving Earth and taking care of Earth is something that they all hold deep in their heart.
Absolutely.
And they're all doing it, a piece of it, in different areas. If we did come together and drop, as Uncle Phil would say, drop all the prejudice and the judgments and the limitations, we can be one human family.
That's right.
And take care.
And there are a whole lot of people out there who aren't quote-unquote indigenous. They're indigenous to Mother Earth, maybe not to a tribe, yeah? But they feel the same way we do. And if we would all just drop all this junk that we all learned from this modern culture and go back to what's really true, really wake up, the world will be a very different place. And, I think that's what the Hopi prophecy was telling us. We've got the choice. It's not about what somebody else says. It's about what's true in our hearts.
Yeah, and we've all, in some ways, have been colonialized. And so we have to work together to stop it.
Yes, we do.
And as I tell my kids and my wife, and she always is really good with the kids, we can all make better choices. And that's the world. The world, we can all make better choices and how to work together as people.
Mm-hmm.
And I just know if we don't unify, that I think in my heart that that the two-legged will disappear, and that's just my own opinion. And I see that and feel it in my heart every day when there's so many things that is being allowed to be done. Like they're spraying over the top of us. They're digging up here, uranium over here. People dying of cancer. The list goes on and on and on, and it's nothing. Well, I don't want to say it's nothing, but it's. We need to stop it. It's all these little things that are adding up. That's what I'm trying to say. And so, by them doing that, they're taking away how we live.
Thomas Banyako was a really good friend of mine, an elder, a brother. And he used to say, and this was way back in the 80s, said, Mother Earth's fine. She's fine. She can heal herself any time. She's been here 2 billion years. She's just going to shake us off like a dog would fleas. And, I hope that day doesn't come. I hope enough people are waking up. That's certainly my intention, to stay awake and to help others look at themselves and stay awake. And then I see all these things happening, and I see how they are human caused. And a part of me says, wow, are we going to do it? Or are we going to get picked off? I don't know.
But it goes back to what you said at the beginning of the program, that it's prayer. We all have to stay in the prayer, and those that are moving and that are awake, as you say, we need to continue to do the things that we're doing every day to uplift folks so they make better choices.
Yeah.
And
to remember our oldest teaching, which is unto the 7th generation. If it's not going to serve unto the 7th generation, it's not a choice we should make. It's not he who gets the most toys wins. It's he who gives the most unto the 7th generation wins, whatever winning means. Yeah. I really thank you for calling and asking these questions and giving me a chance to voice what I've been given over the years to believe and what I saw from this landslide. When I came through that, Ryan, it was like, oh my God, how did I live through this? I went back out there a few days ago, and I'm like, I have no earthly idea why I'm alive, how I'm alive. I know why I'm alive. But how I'm alive, that was Spirit all the way, and Mother. They spared me. There is no way that I could have lived through that on my own. I'm so grateful to be alive, and if there's some little thing that I can do that will help us change this, then I'm going to do it.
I think we're doing that part of that right now by sharing your heart. We need to continue to work together, and I love what you said about how it's not the earth; it's all human caused.
Every bit of it.
Yeah, because the earth loves us, and I know she wants to take care of us, and she always has. But we, as human beings, well, I don't want to see human beings, because I don't think a human being would be doing this. I think it's something different, but it's through us, through the human being, that it's happening. That we're cutting the trees, we're taking out all, the salmon. The salmon can't get through. I heard Billy Frank in March of last year say that there's no salmon in the Squally River. Well, hello, I have a problem with that. If they can't live there, how are we going to? You know, like these are these things that keep on happening, and that we have to stop doing those things that are going to take away life.
All the baby Chinook in the river died. They were all coming down when that mudslide happened. Yeah. Yeah, that hurt.
I just want to let people know that you're listening to KAOS 89.3 FM here in Olympia, and we're talking with Robin Youngblood, and I just really appreciate Robin sharing with us this evening, and you know, getting her view on what's going on, and the eagle view, as I would call it, and that we the people have to really come together, because the earth is going to, I don't know, clean up if we don't. And I agree wholeheartedly with what you were saying, Robin, about we have to work together. We have to stop allowing certain things from happening every day, and we have to continue to, if we have to write letters, go out, talk to people, do things like that. We have to continue to do it to stop them from making those bad choices.
You know, I work with an organization called Grandmother's Circle the Earth Foundation, and I'm sort of a traveling ambassador for them. I go around the world to find places where grandmothers want to come together and counsel together and dream together and pray together and help in situations just like this. I never thought I'd be a part of one, okay? But in those grandmothers' councils, what I see is that it's like there's different gifts and skills in every circle. We know this in talking circles, right? So one grandmother, she's the one who knows how to do the political thing. Another grandmother is the ceremony keeper. Another one has all the ancient teachings. Another one is the cook, and the one who wants to take care of the people in the circle. Another one's the one who is the orator, and like that, you know, until the whole circle's complete. So everybody has a different thing to do. We're not all going to be the letter writers. We're not all going to have the voice out there. Some of us are going to be at home in our bedroom, at our altar, and pray. Some of us are going to be feeding the people. Some of us are going to be taking care of the kids. As long as we do it with that clear intention, holding that clear space in our hearts and being what we want to see out there, then the change is going to happen.
Absolutely, and I've said in the past, you know, we all, like you just said, we all have different jobs, and we don't all have to think that we need to do it all. We all need to do a piece, and if we continue to do the pieces of it, then everyone can, pardon the pun, have a piece of the pie. Because there's that's the thing that I've realized more and more with as I'm getting older. There's more than enough for everyone, and the earth will continue to provide for us as long as we do the right thing.
Yeah.
And we have to care. We have to care for her, and that. I was just talking this morning with a friend of mine. We used to live on this property near Lake St. Clair here in Olympia, and there was this nice 14 acres, or something like that. This elder lady kept together, and the minute she crossed, her family got greedy and they clear-cutted it all. And it's on top of a hill, and we know that it's just a matter of time before something happens there. They put up all these houses there, that we've known that before. And I was talking to a friend the other day about, I have family and friends in New Orleans, and I know the native people a long time ago said we don't build here, on the water. We know, and we continue to think that we can outdo Mother Earth, when we take away these things. So I just wanted to also put that out there, because I think that we really do need to listen to the elders and the grandmas and the grandfathers and all those that have lived, and so we can make better choices.
Yes, we do. And the modern culture teaches us something very different than what's true. Okay? We all know the truth in our own hearts, but it really helps to listen to the elders and the wisdom keepers, because they can say it in a way that our hearts open up and we can listen to what's true in ourselves.
Absolutely, and they continue to share, and they continue. We just need to really listen with our. That's what you're talking about in the beginning of the show, and what Uncle has always told me. He said, "Your longest journey is from your head to your heart, and when you get in your heart, I will no longer worry about you."
Yeah, they know that, don't they?
They do. And it's about prayer, and it's about being respectful, and all those things that we have been sharing for the last 45 minutes. And we know this.
Yeah, we do.
I know in my heart that 90-some% of the folks walking around know this. We
all know it. We fight it.
Yeah.
One of my first teachers was a Lakota man named Martin Highbeer. And 30-some years ago, he told me, "Robin, there's only two things. There's love and there's fear. Your choice. How you going to live? Wherever there's love, everything that is fear has to appear so that love can heal it, because that's love's job." If I didn't take anything from any of my elders, and I took that would be enough to live a life by. And I have. Okay?
Absolutely. Love, and love, as my son says all the time, makes everything grow.
It's the water on the plant.
Yep. And so I think that it's important for us to remember that.
Yeah.
So we got about 10 more minutes, Robin. I just was wondering if there was anything that I've said this before, and actually I've been on the air for 6 years, to the date, April 6th, and I've been saying it since then. And the old ones that live here have told me that when you have something that you want to say that's on your heart and you don't say it, it'll follow you around until you say it. So you might as well just say it right now. So I always, when I speak to folks, that I always say that, if there's something that we've missed that's on your heart, and if you want to share that with our relatives, it would be great.
Well, first of all, I would like to thank everyone. Wado, Megwich, Ihaichka. I probably know Pilania. Let's see. I probably know thank you in about 3 languages, because I think it's the most important word. For everything that everybody is and continues to do for all of us, because the way that our communities and even the governments have responded, there's been so much compassion, so much kindness, so much going out of the way to give in a way that's not normally seen, okay? And every one of us, our hearts have been touched so deeply, and it does give me hope and faith in the human family. Yeah? And I would also say that if you have a little spare change, and you can throw it the way of these survivors, They are going to need it. Our organization is www.churchoftheearth.org, and there's a donate button there, and you can just donate right through it. It's pretty simple and easy. Even if it's, $5 a month, that's great, because these survivors are going to be rebuilding their lives for years, and they're going to need help. They're going to get stuff from the government, too. But you know what? Most of those people up in Oso, including me, we don't do government stuff. We'd much rather know that it's coming from family and friends in our community.
No,
and we'll give back any way we can.
Absolutely. And I think that's great. It's just great to be a witness, to see all the people there come together and help.
It is.
They're in the four-leggeds are not being left out, and I just love it. I just think that one thing for me, what this is showing people is what we need to be doing every day.
Every day.
Every day, and so I think it's also important for me to witness, because I sometimes Uncle told me a while back, he said you should, when all these things happen, watch how people react. And I remember when they had the thing in Japan, and I watched, and people were taking care of elders and all those kind of things, and I was saying, if something happened like that here, I'm really hoping that we could pull together like that. And so what's happening in Oso is showing me that people care.
Yeah.
And people want to help one another.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
That is the true human condition. The true human heart and heartfulness. We just need to uncover that on a daily basis.
And it's with love, as you're saying, because it'll get rid of fear.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
I really want to thank you, too, for calling today, because you're asking me to be with you today.
I appreciate you being able to have time and to share with us here at KAOS. It's really important to have our community be able to share what's on their heart with all our relatives here.
Yeah. And it's so good to know that there's a station here that is actually connecting all our relatives.
Yeah, we're grateful for that. And KAOS has been in the community for 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I told a friend tonight that to me it's not a privilege being here, it's a blessing to be able to sit in a chair and be able to share the voices of the folks that don't normally get a chance to share their voices. And I'm 47, and I've lived 47 years without indigenous viewpoint with Mother Earth out there, and I know that's one of the reasons why we're in trouble. We need all the viewpoints, but we need to be able to have that one too. And that's one that's been missing for way too long.
Yep. Yep.
So again, I appreciate you calling in, Robin, and sharing with us, and I hope that maybe we could do this in the future, get you guys to come down. And,
I'd like that.
And be in the studio. We can all share. It'd be great.
We can sing some songs.
All right. So, but that'd be great. And so again, I appreciate you calling. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
I'll see you.
All
right. Have a good evening.
Yes.
Thank you. And you're listening to KAOS 89.3 FM here in Olympia, Washington. That was Robin Youngblood calling in from Oso, and I just really appreciate her taking the time to share with us this evening. And it's really true. We all need to work as a a brother would tell me, we have to pray harder and continue to work more and more together. And so, got some special things coming up in the next hour, and we're going to do a station ID, and we'll be back after this song and a station ID, vice versa.
Do you want to know what's going on in Native America? Tune in to National Native News on KAOS. National Native News brings you the top stories from indigenous communities across the United States and around the world. Our perspective is Native, but the stories appeal to audiences with a diverse perspective. You can listen to National Native News weekday afternoons at 3 on KAOS, Olympia's listener-supported, volunteer-powered community radio station.